you talk about pairing books and you give a little bit of your story about journaling with
Yes.
reading. Okay, so tell me why journaling with reading.
Oh, we need like a whole nother hour to talk about
We'll do a part two.
yeah, journaling and notebooking. Um, so there's something magical about putting pen to paper. And yes, keyboards still work, but there's just something about that old school pen to paper that research shows us actually has an impact in our bodies. That when we read for a certain amount of time or we write for a certain amount of time, our eyes are moving left to right, left to right, left to right, left to right, and we can get lulled into this kind of meditative state. And so our brains are really primed to think and to reflect because we are in that calmer state of being. And so when we are reading things, we often can make connections to ourselves, right? Things that we notice about our own lives that are similar to the characters, or things that we don't like that we're finding in books. And writing gives us the opportunity to take those thoughts that we may have had in our head about the reading and put them down on paper so that we can think about them. We can ponder them. I'm not talking about the kind of reading where we have kids answer comprehension questions like who is the character, what was the setting. Too much of that kind of writing around a book can actually reverse kids' love of reading because that kind of writing where they're just proving that they've read the book to someone else can make reading feel like work. But writing or doodling or jotting down things that help them capture what they were thinking and feeling as they were reading the book, it deepens the reading experience. Now, there's a whole nother set of research that shows writing unrelated to our reading, just having kids write things down, things that are going on, things that bother them, things that they did that day. So much amazing research around how good it is for our health. The chemicals that course through our bodies, our blood pressure, our breathing rate, the tightness of our muscles. Even for adults, the level of inflammation in our bodies can be reduced by putting pen to paper. So, as much as possible, I love to pair reading with writing because words on the page that we read, right, they kind of soak into us and hopefully make us feel good or help us feel better. But we can also put words out on the page and talk about things in a way that we often don't get a chance to do with the books we read in school. Because teachers have very specific things they must do in relation to the curriculum. So a reading life sitting at a classroom desk will likely look very different than the child who is snuggled up on the couch or the bed with a bunch of pillows reading for fun. And pairing that with just a little light writing can help children really make sense of what they're reading and how it might be able to help them.
Oh my goodness. So we are literally reading for our lives when you talk about
Um,
those health benefits. That's really amazing.
We are reading and writing for our lives. And in my adult podcasting world where I speak to adults on this podcast, I always say like reading and writing are the underdogs of the health and wellness space.
Yes. Yes.
Not as many people understand that just 6 minutes of reading will put your body into a rest and digest phase versus fight or flight. That reading for 30 minutes gives our parasympathetic nervous system the same effect as if we did 30 minutes on a yoga mat. Now, our muscles aren't the same, right? And our flexibility is not the same, and our core is certainly not the same. But the level of stress in our body reduces the same because we are reading in that more meditative state. And just one 15-minute writing session does all of those things as well. Three writing sessions, 3 days in a row, starts to reduce the inflammation and cortisol in our body. It's just fascinating